Hi everyone.
Hello.
I'm Alyson Charles and Alyson Chase, a woman of many names. This is Kirsten Weiss,
A woman of one name.
mystery author extraordinaire, however, and we're here to give a review of the Castle of Otranto, the original and first Gothic novel. If you're watching this on YouTube and you want to get notifications of our future reviews, click that little,
Bell.
A little bell there, and like and share, please. But yeah, the Castle of Otranto was
The craziest freaking book I think I've ever read in my life.
luckily it was short this time.
It was short, which is no excuse for why it took us so long to review it. We were traveling around a lot and had some house guests and stuff, which was fantastic, but it knocked everything back. Anyway, so Castle of Otranto.
Crazy sauce.
Yeah, totally crazy sauce. So it starts out, they're at the Castle of Otranto, and the Lord of the Castle is prepping for his son's wedding, and all of a sudden the servants go crazy, and they tell him that his son is dead because a giant helmet has fallen from the sky and crushed him to death. And I kept thinking, does helmet mean something differently when it was originally written? This book was written by Horace Walpole. And I discovered, no, he really did mean helmet, like a giant knight's helmet complete with, feathers on the top.
I still don't know, did it fall completely from the sky, or was it like on a big statue? It felt like,
There was no nearby statue.
Well, so it just fell from the sky?
It just appeared. It just magically appeared.
And crushed this poor kid to death.
Yeah, and it's like the size of a wagon and crushed this guy to death. So the father, instead of thinking, wow, that's really a strange thing to happen, maybe there's something mysterious going on here, thinks, okay, I screwed up my plans for the wedding. I don't have any other male heirs. I know. I'll marry the girl he was going to marry, even though I'm already married to a perfectly nice woman who's given me a daughter. Yeah. And of course, nobody really likes that scenario, but they're all at the mercy of the Lord of the Castle. And things just get crazier from there. There's ghosts. I should get my checklist out. So we have not one, not two, we have 3 damsels in distress.
Yeah, there's no woman who's like not in distress in this book. They're all...
And they're all
messed up.
They're all like too good to live too.
Well, they all just have to obey their lord and master. So whatever he says, even if he says something totally evil and crazy,
okay,
he's my dad. I gotta do it.
Okay, in fairness though, the girl who he decided he was going to marry, Isabel, she makes a run for it.
Yeah.
So she's not completely down with it, and I think her best friend, who is this guy's daughter, is also not super happy about it. But the wife kind of goes along with it. Anyways, we're giving away too much. But so we have 3 damsels in distress. Orphan. Do we have any orphans?
Isabel, we thought she thinks she's an orphan for the first half of the book, so I give that a half of one.
Okay. Well, the hero, the boyfriend,
he also thinks he's an orphan, but he's not.
All right. So we have. That's 2 halves make a whole.
Okay. Yes. 2 halves make a whole.
Supernatural. Oh my God.
Out spades.
In spades. And crazy supernatural you would not think about. We've got moving paintings. It's just
apparently this was the first supernatural novel in, hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can do this. Oops. Yeah. This is the first supernatural novel in English history.
Really?
Yes, that's what I read.
I didn't know that. Okay, someone did the research and it wasn't me. Okay. Isolation?
Not really.
Well, I mean, the women are kind of isolated. I think there's more emotional. They have nobody to go to, really.
Okay, if we're going to be taking it to emotional isolation, I guess.
I'm going to take it to emotional isolation because
I'm much more literal than my sister here.
Okay, decay. Yeah, we got lots of castle decay and moral decay. We have a castle, obviously, the Castle of Otranto. High drama. Oh yes. Wowza, wowza. Curse. Yes, we have a curse.
Well, it's more supposed to be prophecy. That's what I wanted to ask you too. So I didn't understand it at all.
Well, if it's a prophecy that something awful is going to happen.
Yeah, it's a curse to the main guy, to Manfred, the evil one.
Okay.
So it says that the castle and lordship of Otranto should pass from the present family whenever the real owner should be grown too large to inhabit it. How is the real owner grown too large to? I don't understand that prophecy curse at all. I don't think it makes sense.
That's a little vague. but Manfred and his family consider it a curse.
Yeah, so a lot of what he was doing, trying to marry this woman, so he'd have male heirs.
Yeah.
He thought that he wouldn't lose control of the castle.
I don't think we had insanity though. I mean, they're all kind of, their behavior's nuts, but I don't know if you'd call them insane. So I'm going to leave that one blank. Foreboding, I mean, there's so much with the supernatural and stuff. And what's this list?
Extreme emotion.
Extreme emotion, yeah.
Well, that's what, so it's funny, like, this book is only written 30 years before The Mysteries of Udolpho, but I thought the writing style was completely different. Like, this is all tell, don't show, so I didn't find it emotional at all. But then I did read that he actually wrote it because he's trying to make it like a found novel from the medieval period, so he wrote it in an intentionally archaic style, so that made more sense. One thing that's also really funny is that when it first came out, and people thought it was like a found file from the medieval period, is it rave reviews. I was like, oh my god, this is such an amazing writing from the medieval period. So the second edition came out, and it's like, okay, since you guys all like this book, I actually wrote it. And then people are like, what? This is immoral, this is absurd, this is so stupid, and so...
Because you tricked us, and now we look stupid.
So he didn't get the accolades when he came out.
Poor guy.
Yeah. But it's still recognized as the first Gothic novel, especially because he wrote a Gothic novel on the title.
Yeah, it's a weird thing where there's all this high emotion, and yet it isn't an emotional book.
Not at all.
Because everybody's reacting, but you're not, as a reader, you're not really feeling it. I guess because of that supposed medieval style.
Yeah, and there's I was kind of bored, I have to say, in a lot of it. It took me a while to finish these really short books. I'm like, eh.
Yeah, what's interesting, I'm taking a class on fairy tales and literature, and what I read, I was just reading that it was actually during the medieval period that writing became a much more tell, not show process. It was during the classical period, like the ancient Greeks, when it was all tell,
show, not tell. Yeah.
Yeah, so there was, during the classical Greeks, it was more telling, and then during the medieval period, when people stopped reading aloud and started reading in their heads, which there may be some, I don't know if there's a correlation between there, but those two things were happening at the same time when people began reading silently for the first time in the Middle Ages.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's when, at that same period, the writing changed to more showing of, instead of saying, well, I felt bad, it's like, my insides clamped, and I thought I was going to vomit, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So...
But I don't think he did that at all. So if he could have done it, if the medieval period allowed that, because they're starting to do it, he could have done that, but he really didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe, well, I'm just thinking of like the con that he was, or the game that he was playing. He said, yeah, it's an early medieval period before that's happened. It was like during the transition. Like, oh, it could be this great transitionary novel. But yeah, it was the craziest thing. I mean, the stuff that was going on, it's just like, oh my god. And the one thing I will give him, he had some good twists, which I'm not going to give away, but there are some good twists in this book where you think one guy is going to be a good guy, and then he ends up not behaving in a good manner at all. And at one side, I was like, oh, I really didn't see that coming, but when it did come, I was like, okay, that actually made sense. So it felt very real. That betrayal felt very real to me.
I think I know what you're talking about. People see.
Okay.
But so the author is, what's his name? Harold Walpole? Walpole?
I thought it was Horace Walpole.
Horace, I think you're right. Horace Walpole. Sorry, Harold. Horace. So apparently he was a big fan of Shakespeare, and so a lot of this is kind of loosely based off Hamlet, like the ghosts and the interactions with the ghosts. So
he's no Shakespeare,
no,
but
no.
But it's a classic. It's actually a very easy, quick read.
Yeah.
I think you can get it for free on Kindle.
Yeah.
So if you're at all interested in getting your Gothic groove on and going to the source, I would say, yeah, pick up Castle of Otranto. It's totally worth it.
I also learned, is that I think one of the elements of Gothic, which we didn't mix, is that it's this mix of supernatural with real people. Like before, it used to just be like real people had real situations, or you're writing about fairies, not real people. This is the first time like supernatural stuff is happening to real people in a novel.
Okay, to go back to the whole fairy tale thing, in my class, they were kind of defining the old fairy tales as all this supernatural stuff happens and people just take it in stride. Like, oh, this is normal. Yeah, here comes the fairy. Okay, the fairy just granted me 3 wishes. Sure, no problem. I just screwed up the wishes. Damn. But there's not this sense of a fairy. I'm like, oh, what? This is so strange. So are you saying then that this is the first time where humans and the supernatural interacted and the human said,
this is weird. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure that's saying that. Wikipedia was saying that.
All right.
But I think it makes sense.
Well, I mean, obviously I haven't read a whole lot. Well, you can go to Shakespeare, though. I think if you go back to Hamlet, there are ghosts in Hamlet.
Yeah.
And how does
I think they're defining novel versus play.
A play. Okay. All right. Well.
So the first Gothic novel, and again, I learned something about, they used the term romantic much differently back then than I thought. When people wrote romance novels, that was just more like novels from imagination instead of
romantic, like the stuff you write.
So this is like a mix of romance and realism, whereas I wouldn't really consider this romantic at all in modern day. It's just fantastical.
Yeah, I mean,
Bat-shaped cray-cray. Ooh, I shouldn't swear, I'm sorry. Sorry, YouTube.
Too late.
Oops.
Oh. But there is romance in it. I mean, it's not as well done as your romances.
Okay, one thing to talk about the romance. The ending. Good golly almighty.
We can't give it away.
No,
We
but
can't give it away.
what the heck? Because
There
there's anti-romantic
is-
ending ever.
Well, I mean, it's sort of a happily ever after. And
You gotta read it to
You gotta read it,
understand what the
yeah.
heck that ending is.
yeah, you gotta read it. So, all right. Speaking of how wonderful your romance novels are,
Oh,
yes, that's my segue.
segue, yes. So I did release Played by the Earl by Alyson Chase, my historical naughty ones, last week?
Yes,
Week and a
last
half ago? Okay, I'm losing track of time. And I had a little cray-cray in that too, which was fun. I had lots going on.
Yeah, I read her book and I thought it was fantastic, even though I'm not a huge. I mean, I think I've said this before, I have nothing against the romance industry or romance novels. It's just not a genre that appeals to me so much. But this one, there's so much going on, and spies, and there's so fantastic tension between these two. These two characters are just perfect for each other, so I loved it.
But as Walpole, I had like homages to Hamlet. I had homages to many of my favorite like old classic movies in this as well.
Oh, really? Like which ones?
Like Pygmalion. Well, it's not a movie. What's the movie from Pygmalion?
Oh, the Eliza Doolittle.
Yeah. I can't think of the modern movie.
Yeah,
with
Audrey Hepburn and that dude.
That one.
The one we care about so much.
Victor Victoria had a little bit of that going on.
Yeah, you did.
And there's another one which I can't think of right now. I'll play it later. I will.
So if you read it, look for the.
See if you can spot the homages.
Yeah, see if you can spot these homages. I have got a new book coming out on September 5th. Close Encounters of the Kurd Kind. Yay, it's finally coming out. It's just going
It's
through.
fun. It's a fun read.
Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you. Just going through its final copy edits now, but it's available for pre-order on Amazon and other fine outlets. And actually, the pre-order price.
My Fair Lady.
Yeah, thank you,
Sorry.
My Fair Lady. That's okay. I get that. You interrupted my important sales information.
Sorry.
I'm having a pre-sale through September 5th this year, 2019. It's only going to be $2.99 ebook.
Ooh, what a steal.
It is. So that's book 3 in my Wits End series, and yeah, things get a little more bananas than that one too. So, but in a good way. I think it's fun.
Yeah. I wonder if reading all these cray-cray books is going to make our writing go even more.
Yeah, I mean, the theory is that as you read the classics, you become a better writer, but I think you have to actually do more than read. I think you have
Not
to
from the
like
Castle of Otranto.
study and absorb and really contemplate them. And I just haven't had time to do that, honestly. But maybe subconsciously.
Yeah, it's
So if a giant helmet lands on somebody and kills them in one of my books, you'll know where I got that from.
I think we should totally do that.
How? I mean, it's just
So
a giant football helmet.
You have crazy.
Oh, it could be like a giant football helmet from like some sort of
yeah.
sporting event that somebody's created.
That would be awesome.
It accidentally falls off.
I think we need to do this.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
That might work in a cozy mystery actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you just don't show all the blood and gore and it's like, oh my, it's like 2 little feet sticking out.
I think it needs to be happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, actually,
You heard it here first. She's gonna have
Yeah.
a giant helmet crushing someone to death. One of her books.
football helmet. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now we got it. All right. Okay. So is that it? Is there anything else you want to talk about?
I do have a book for Alyson Charles coming out September or something. It's a anthology.
The Bake Shop.
Yeah, the Bake Shop. Bake Shop and Pumpkin and Spice. It's with Kate Angel and oh my god, I'm totally blanking on everything today. It's a Halloween themed book. It's a lot of fun to write. I got like love spells gone to
Yeah. This book has magic in it, which you don't normally write in your.
It's not real magic. Oh no, it does. I'm sorry. my magic doesn't work. There's other magic going on that does work. Yes.
So there's magic in this, so that kind of.
Yeah.
I write a lot of magical mysteries too, so I was like, yay, go magic.
So Bake Shop and Pumpkin and Spice. On pre-order right now.
Cool. Congratulations. So thank you everybody, and we won't take so long
Have a good rest
for
of
our
your
next
weekend.
video next time. Yes, have a good rest of your weekend.
Bye.
Bye.